a lovely Friday and you're welcome to Headlines Nigeria on ITI, the program that brings to you summaries of headlines that grace the pages of our national dailies. Reaching you from our Abuja studios here in Nigeria, I am Grace Ukot. Let's take a quick look at the headlines for the day. Vanguard newspaper says 96-year-old mother kidnapped in Delta. A 96-year-old mother of a king-elect of Umukwata Kingdom in Ukwani local government area of Delta State has been kidnapped. Identified as Madam Selina Abaja, mother of Friday Abaja, king-elect of Umukwata Kingdom, was abducted at about 9 p.m. on Monday night. Next newspaper, Jonathan slashes 16.4 billion naira Nigeria at 50 budget. Following criticism of the federal government's plans to spend 16.4 billion naira on the celebrations of Nigeria's Golden Independence Jubilee, President Goodluck Jonathan yesterday slashed the anniversary budget to 9.5 billion naira. The adjustments are included in the latest amended supplementary budget, which the president presented to the National Assembly for consideration and passage. Jonathan assumes leadership of D8. Private businessmen within the developing 8 countries should take advantage of the liberal investment regimes, skilled manpower and low cost of doing business in member countries to foster trade within the group. Nigeria's President Goodluck Jonathan said yesterday in Abuja at the formal handing over of the chairmanship of the developing 8 countries to Nigeria by Malaysia. Agency to prosecute Yerima for violation of Child Rights Act. The former governor of Zamfara State and 7 members of the Nigerian Senate, Ahmed Sani Yerima, is to face prosecution for allegedly committing an act of child marriage. Simon Egede, the executive secretary of NAPTIP, has said. And now this day newspaper says Constitution. States fail to transmit resolutions. The amendments to the 1999 Constitution ran into troubled waters yesterday following the failure of the state houses of assembly to hand in their resolutions on the document to the National Assembly as planned. Training, Ex-Militants Decry Abuja Protest receive certificates. Ex-militants receiving transformation training at the NYSC camp Obubra, Cross River State have decried Wednesday's protest rally by some former militants at Abuja, saying the rally was ill-advised and targeted at the wrong people. The ex-militants spoke in unison at the Obubra camp yesterday while receiving their certificates of graduation after completing a 2-week training program. Nigerian Compass. Police destroyed 30 kidnap camps in Abia. No fewer than 30 camps suspected to be owned by kidnappers have been destroyed in Ungwa local government area of Abia State, the police said yesterday. According to the spokesman of the Abia Command, Ali Okechukwu, an assistant superintendent of police who spoke in Umuahia, the state capital, the camps were destroyed by a special squad, but no one was arrested. In Daily Independent, visa ban. U.S. compiles list of corrupt Nigerians. Dozens of senior Nigerian officials, former and current, are on the verge of losing their travel privileges to the United States as Washington begins to withdraw their visas and ban them from entering the country on the strength of their loot, proven or alleged. Quick on the list is former Federal Attorney General and Justice Minister Michael Aondoaka, whose visa was revoked last week. And in politics, next newspaper, I can do without a deputy. Governor of Abia State, Theodore Orji, has said that he can discharge his duties effectively without a deputy. Speaking in Umuahia on Thursday after a solidarity visit by the people of Ibe-Kuegwasa in Umuahia North, Mr. Orji said, if not for the constitutional provision of a deputy, I can operate in office without a deputy governor. The position of a deputy governor is like a spare tire, and my vehicle is bulletproof. This day newspaper, Nwodo, PDP revisiting zoning. People's Democratic Party National Chairman Dr. Okwesilieze Nwodo has clarified his position on zoning, saying the party is revisiting the contentious power rotation arrangement and not killing it. But before his veiled retraction, Northern leaders had taken umbrage at Wednesday's statement where Nwodo said there was no zoning at present in the party. Sanders, 2011 is transformative for Nigeria. United States Ambassador to Nigeria, Ms. Robin Renee Sanders, has urged the Nigerian government and Nigerians to muster enough political will to make democracy work by ensuring free and fair elections next year. She also said the federal government is free to initiate a legal case against companies such as Halliburton, who have been heavily fined by the U.S. for giving bribes to Nigerian public officials in order to secure contracts. Vanguard newspaper, 2011, voters register will be ready before elections, Jega. Chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Atahiru Jega, disclosed yesterday that the much-awaited credible voters register will be ready before the 2011 general elections. Nigerian Tribune, 2011, credible elections, my priority, Jega. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Atahiru Jega, has expressed his readiness to confront the challenge of conducting free, fair and credible elections in the country in 2011. As a prelude, the electoral umpire said he would ensure that a credible voters register was in place soon, to be followed by voters education to enlighten the citizens on how to discharge their civic obligations during the polls. And in business, Vanguard newspaper, oil workers concerned over uncertainty of PIB. Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff of Nigeria has expressed concerns over what it considers as uncertainty surrounding the petroleum industry bill before the National Assembly, saying that the activities of the legislative arm in the passage of the bill has not reflected any form of transparency on the part of the legislators. Next newspaper, private sector credit worries CBN. The Central Bank of Nigeria has stated that it is concerned about the low level of credit to the private sector. Lamido Sanusi, the CBN governor, at the Monetary Policy Committee meeting held on Monday, said there was need for government to pursue macroeconomic, structural and institutional reforms that appear to have been slowed down in the past few years. Central Bank sells $11 billion in 6 months. The Central Bank of Nigeria sold a total of $11.16 billion, that's about 1.7 trillion naira, during the first half of the year, which represents an average of $247.89 million per auction sold at the bi-weekly wholesale Dutch auction system during the period. And in sports, Vanguard newspaper, NFA amends election guidelines. Eligibility criteria for elections into the Executive Committee of Nigeria Football Federation have been relaxed to allow for a more transparent process, according to the new leadership of the NFF. Vociferous criticisms of the skewed election guidelines led in part to the crisis, which saw President Goodluck Jonathan decide to withdraw Nigeria from international competition for 2 years. Fireworks for World Cup final. A combination of fireworks and the latest light effects technology will mark the closing ceremony of the FIFA World Cup on Sunday night. The ceremony, to be broadcast to millions of TV viewers worldwide, will take place at Soccer City Stadium from 6:30. We are looking at youthful and technological advanced closing ceremony, and because it is at night time, the event will feature a lot of lighting technology, spokesperson Jermaine Craig said. Next newspaper, Enyimba dedicate title to fans. Next newspaper, Enyimba dedicate title to fans. Enyimba's coach Oke Emodi has dedicated the team's latest league conquest to the club's fans, who he insists gave the players the strength to succeed in Wednesday's 2-1 win over Kano Pillars. EFCC has not invited me, says Ogunjobi. Former head of the Technical Committee of the Nigeria Football Federation, Taiwo Ogunjobi, has informed Next that he is yet to be formally invited by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission over his alleged involvement in the alleged fraud within the NFF, even though he was at the Abuja office of the Anti-Graft Agency on Thursday. With these stories, we end this edition of Headlines Nigeria. I am Grace Ukot. Thanks for logging on.